April 3rd, 2019 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. The mayor has been excused for the part of this meeting and will be joining us later and then directing the meeting herself. In the meantime, I will try and take her place. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. Please note customers of CenturyLink and Cox Communications can view this program in high definition on channel 1002. You can also watch this meeting live on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV on the Go Vegas app. The council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the internet at www.kclv.tv/live. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 5 p.m. This building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits at the back of chambers out to the mezzanine. Proceed out the double doors to the terrace and down the back staircase. For anyone that has difficulty with stairs, please check with a marshal or fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Street. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it is safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to the items on the agenda, citizen participation, and public hearing items, we will have available a speaker card, which you can complete and submit to the city clerk, who's right here in front of me, or in that little basket. There we see the orange cards. Cards are available online in the clerk's office or at the rear of the chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizens' participation, or specified public hearing items. If there is anyone present today that has a need for hearing impaired equipment, please see the city clerk staff. Please note, if you are parked in the parking garage across the street, a new flash parking self-validation machine is located in the foyer between council chambers and the security desk you walk through to enter these chambers. You must have your ticket with you to use the machine. If you do not have your ticket, see security personnel when exiting for a validation coupon. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given by Reverend Bonnie Pauley, Christ Episcopal Church, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes.
Let us pray. Oh Lord God, we have so much to be thankful for this day, but especially the election, the re-election of our mayor. It makes us so warm in our hearts. Let us pray. Oh God, the fountain of wisdom, whose will is good and gracious, and the whole law is truth. We beseech you to guide and bless each member of our city council assembled here today. Give each of them the spirit of wisdom and understanding, that they may discern the truth in all that they undertake. Show them your purpose in all that they do as they exercise their duties as leaders in our city. Teach us all to seek you and fill our hearts with thankfulness as we strive to serve each other. We ask this in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We're going to begin our ceremonial items with the recognition of the Citizen of the Month. And the first item will be handled by Councilman Stavros Anthony. He has the honor of recognizing our Citizen of the Month.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. Welcome to Las Vegas City Hall. Each month, as the Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, a member of the City Council has the honor and privilege to recognize a citizen in the City of Las Vegas who's made a positive impact in our community, and we recognize that person and award them the Citizen of the Month. And today, it is my honor and pleasure to recognize Kevin Orrick, President of Summerlin for the Howard Hughes Corporation, as the April 2019 Citizen of the Month for the City of Las Vegas. Kevin, would you please come down here? Give him a nice round of applause. Kevin Orrick. Come right up here. As I mentioned, Kevin Orrick is president of Summerlin and is in charge of the Southern Nevada region of the Howard Hughes Corporation. Kevin has been with the company for more than 4 decades. He has the distinction of being one of the longest tenured employees of the Howard Hughes Corporation, having started his career with the company's accounting department in 1974 at the famed Desert Inn Hotel. The Howard Hughes Corporation owns, manages, and develops commercial, residential, and mixed-use real estate throughout the city of Las Vegas. They have been instrumental in transforming the western part of Las Vegas, including my ward, Ward 4, with exciting developments throughout the Summerlin community. Today, Summerlin is home to more than 100,000 residents. Summerlin began nearly 30 years ago and has played an important role in helping make Las Vegas a place to live and raise a family. Just last year, Summerlin ranked as the nation's 3rd biggest selling master plan community in the country. Under Kevin's leadership, Summerlin has opened several golf courses, including 2 TPC golf courses. If you know what that means, that's a big deal, and is home of the Shriners PGA Open. Further developments include parks, churches, schools, libraries, hotels, a veteran community center, and Summerlin Hospital. Over the past few years, Kevin has led the 1.6 million square foot retail, dining, and entertainment project called Downtown Summerlin. This is also the home of the practice facility for the NHL franchise, the Vegas Golden Knights, the city's first professional sports team. The 2 newest developments include the Las Vegas Ballpark, home of the Las Vegas Aviators, the city's professional AAA baseball team of the Pacific Coast League, an affiliate with the Oakland A's, which will open next, is that Wednesday or? Tuesday, April 9th. Okay, Tuesday. Then they have the day on Tuesday, April 9th. And Summerlin is building a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department substation to be built at 215 and Far Hills in Ward 2 to provide public safety for the western part of the valley. On behalf of the mayor and the entire city council, I want to thank you, Kevin, your leadership, and the Howard Hughes Corporation for all the vision you've had in developing Las Vegas. And I would like to name you the Citizen of the Month for the city of Las Vegas. Congratulations. And I have a plaque here for you that says Kevin Orrick, Citizen of the Month, City of Las Vegas for April. And if you go out to the corner over here, there's a digital sign, and your mug is going to be on there for the entire month of April, so you can go by and bring your family and anybody you want and take pictures out there. How's that? All right, now a couple of words from Kevin Orrick.
Well, thank you, Councilman Anthony, and greetings, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, members of the City Council. Look, I've been here for 40 years. I'm kind of a low-profile guy. I don't like publicity, but I'm humbled by this honor. Look, there's a lot of things going on in Summerlin. As the councilman just pointed out, he actually stole my speech here. But you know, in 6 days, we're going to open up the Las Vegas Ballpark. I mean, it's state of the art. It's best in class in terms of the facility. It's best in class. I think we got some pictures on the monitor, right? Sure. Yeah, there's a few pictures that we have of it. The food experience is going to be wonderful. It's a family-oriented venue. It's great for Southern Nevada. It's going to be something that it's not only baseball, but it also will include charity, community events. We'll have concerts out there, so we're going to activate that facility as much as you can. You can see this is a better shot of it, and it gets better every day. As I said, 6 days, everyone will be able to see it. We hope everybody takes time out to come out to the ballpark. It's all about family, and that's what the master plan Summerlin is about. But really, it's about Southern Nevada, and we're very proud to deliver this project to the community. So it's very special to us. It has amenities from berm seating to luxury suites to you can sit in a pool, have a drink, whatever you'd like to do. There's something for everybody, price range for everybody. So we're very proud of this project for the entire community. That's not the only thing that's going on in Summerlin, but it kind of overshadows everything else. As the councilman said, we've got a Metro police station opening up at the end of this year, which is at Far Hills and the 215, and we're excited about that. We've got apartments opening up in a couple of months, new apartments right across from downtown Summerlin, office building that we just completed that's 100% occupied now, and just a lot of things going on. So this is a rendering of the Metro Police Station. Again, that'll be great for the community. The next slide this is just one of the parks. This is Fox Hills Park, probably the most popular park in Summerlin. It's crowded on weekends. It's hard to find a place to park, but it's got climbing apparatuses. It's a little different than most of the parks that are programmed for baseball and basketball. This is really climbing apparatuses. It's got not bungee, but zip lines, frisbee golf, things like that. So it's a very popular park. But it's interesting. Like I said, I've been with 4 ownership groups of Summerlin, and actually we started in the city. And the very first project in Summerlin was a middle school. The mayor isn't here, but she was very much part of that process 30 years ago in starting the school. And it looks like we're going to end in the city. The next slide, if you can. This is the undeveloped area of Summerlin. We still have 5,000 acres remaining to be developed. Most of it happens to be in the city. So we've got another 15 to 20 years. We've had a wonderful relationship with the city over the 30 years. We've still got another 15, 20 years of that relationship to go, and we've been very pleased with the response that we've gotten from the city and the staff throughout all these years. So I want to thank everybody for this opportunity, and again, thank you very much for the honor. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. But I think the most important thing is on behalf of the residents that live in Ward 4 and Ward 2 and the city of Las Vegas that have decided to make Summerlin their home. I know they love to live up there because it's a great place to raise a family and walk your dogs and take your kids to the park, and it's just a world-known place to live and work and take care of your family. So thanks for developing a community that allows people to do that. So thank you very much. Congratulations. Kevin Orrick.
We'll come on this side. Let's come on this side.
Chase is here. Chase loves to move the podium. Are we getting in front of the?
Look at Jen over here in front.
Arm change. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
One more.
And next on the agenda is the recognition of the 2020 census. And it's my pleasure to invite Arlene Alvarez, a partnership specialist with the U.S. Census Bureau, to join us. Every 10 years, Americans are asked to participate in the census. And I cannot overstate the importance of this. It truly is a chance to shape our future as a city, because many federal funding opportunities are tied directly to census information. So I would urge all Las Vegans to participate in the 2020 census. And Arlene, where are you? Would you come up here, please? I want to ask you to tell us a little bit about how we can participate, but first I want to present to you this proclamation making April 3rd, 2019, Census Day in the city of Las Vegas. And then I'm going to ask, where is my proclamation? Here. And this is for you to have.
Thank you so much.
And it's from our council declaring today Census Day.
Well, thank you so much. It
Yeah.
means a lot to me and all the work that I'm doing.
Yeah, it sounds a little, staid. It isn't very exciting or sexy, Census Day. But I'll tell you, it means a lot. It means a lot as far as the monies from the federal government are concerned, and even eventually as far as the breaking up of the distribution of the wards within our city. So please, everybody, anybody listening and watching this, and everybody here, be sure to make sure everybody you know gets down on the census. Here you are, Arlene.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Tarkanian and the council. Thank you so much for your commitment to the census and for our community. That's really what this commitment is about. Historically, the decennial census is the largest peacetime mobilization of the entire country. And the 2020 census will be no different. In preparation and in my role as partnership specialist with the Community Partnership and Engagement Program, I have been working really closely with community leaders and the city of Las Vegas, particularly with your planning department, to establish the Southern Nevada Complete Count Committee of stakeholders that are involved in our community to ensure a complete count. Additionally, one of the Census Bureau's primary goals is to recruit for the many hundreds of jobs that will be available in our state. It'll be close to 2,000 jobs, and most of those jobs will be in Southern Nevada, because our state will only have 2 area census offices, and both of them will be in Southern Nevada. One will be in North Las Vegas, and one in the city of Las Vegas. So these are all great opportunities to get involved and make a difference in the community. Both are scheduled to open this summer. The greatest impact of the 2020 census, however, is long-term. The census will determine funding, as Councilwoman Tarkanian mentioned. Programs like Title I schools, transportation projects, hospitals, schools, Medicaid especially, CHIP for children, among so many other billions of dollars of federal funding is distributed to our state based on this funding. For our state, it's specifically over $6 billion a year. And the census determines that funding for 10 years. So, so we can't go back. Once the count is done, that's it. And so that will, that we're stuck with our numbers and with our funding. The census also determines the apportionment in the House of Representatives. Nevada gained 1 congressional seat in the 2010 census, and while we're not at risk of losing our seat or gaining one, our state's legislative, school, and ward districts will be realigned, as Councilwoman Tarkanian previously mentioned. There are many other benefits to an accurate and complete census count. The phrase "data is gold" comes to mind. The data that the census releases to the public is accessible to businesses, government officials, nonprofits, for them to do market research, policy proposals, and grant proposals. In cases of emergency, census data is also consulted by emergency response teams. Once again, the benefits of an accurate and complete count are essential, and on behalf of the U.S. Census Bureau, I thank you very much for this proclamation, and my information is up here, so if you'd like to reach out to me, ask me how you can get involved, I'll be more than happy to tell you and direct you to however it is that we can work together. I'm especially looking for community leaders or businesses that also want to get involved, because everything is interrelated really in our community. So thank you very much once again. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome. We're going to take a picture. We're going to take a picture. try and get it where people will see it so that they will do this?
Yes.
A lot of the things that we get that are extras in the city, we're able to do because of federal funds.
We'll come this way. Yeah, that's okay. We can leave the podium. Okay. Ready?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you
We
so
can help you
much.
in any way, let us know.
Oh, of course. I'll be in touch.
I wanted to have my ward moved a little. I kept trying to get some of those Summerlin parks into my ward, but we didn't quite get enough people in the older Ward 1. And I saw Councilman Coffin looking at the beautiful Summerlin parks, and I knew what he was thinking. I knew what you were thinking, yes, okay. And then we'd like to have today, and you know, I don't know how we do it at UNLV and here in the city. We're always winning these national awards. Just shows the enthusiasm that's in Las Vegas. So today we're going to recognize the UNLV cheer team and the Rebel Girls and Company. Councilwoman Fiore will recognize these two groups of athletes. Yeah. These groups, remember, have won national championships, each of them. Councilwoman?
This is so exciting. Look at our beautiful rebel girls. Yes, well, they're gorgeous too.
You guys maybe come back.
Yeah, just come all the way. Yeah,
You guys can come.
this is beautiful. Look at you guys. So today, we have some very amazing people in the audience, and now they're up here with us. And I'm excited to be recognizing the UNLV cheer team and Rebel Girls and Company for their recent national championships. At the start of this year, the UNLV cheer team traveled to the 2019 UCA College Cheerleading Championships and earned their first Division 1A Team National Championship. UNLV Cheer beat out Mississippi, Bowling Green, California, Minnesota, San Diego State, and New Mexico, taking home the gold for UNLV. Along with the cheer team's success, the Rebel Girls and Company earned 2 national titles at the Division 1A hip hop and game day categories at the 2019 College Dance Team National Championships, also held in Orlando, Florida. Not only did they win this year, this is the second year in a row that they have earned a national championship. Yes. And leading these teams is Desiree Reed-Francis, Savannah Sibley, and Marcia DeCastroverde. Can I have the coaches? Are they here? Where are they? Here they are. I would like for you guys to say a few words about your teams.
Hi, my name is Brandy Slade, and I coach the UNLV Rebel Girls and Company. These student athletes are just dedicated and hardworking, and we are so proud to represent the city of Las Vegas year after year nationally, and we thank you guys all for your support. And thank you for this recognition.
And then we've got, so this goes to you and this goes to you.
My name is Savannah. I coach the UNLV cheer team. Thank you, Council, for this recognition. It's such an honor. I'm so excited for the girls. I'm so proud of them, the hard work, the dedication that they've put into our program. I can't thank my coaching staff enough for backing me up and, you know, having the support of my decisions and, of course, representing our university. So thank you again.
So thank you, and each and every one of our girls and boys have their own certificate from the city, signed by our mayor and all of our council. So each and every one of you have your own certificate. And we just thank you guys for being so beautiful, so great, and bringing home the gold.
Wanted to have a very interesting story. I tried to meet with all the candidates who were running in Ward 1 to take my place, and one of them I met who was a very fine candidate, I thought. Anyway, he told me he was a cheerleader at UNLV during the time my husband was coaching there. And I said, "Oh, you like cheerleading?" He said, "Oh, yeah." He said, there was a really nice girl on the team, and I want to. Anyway, that's how far you go, girls. I just want you to know, lots of guys out there.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a picture. Those are nice medals, too.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to thank all these ladies for winning the championships. Whoops, you got this off.
Yeah.
Turn this on for me. Did you turn it?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, okay.
Talk close.
I got to talk close. That was nice, a nice intervention of pulchritude. I used that word the other day, and I had to explain to my grandson, a college graduate, that it meant beauty. So thank you for all the beauty that you brought here today, and thank you for your great work for the teams. And now for the final ceremonial item, I want to discuss a very important issue. I don't know if you've watched TV recently where you've seen the ad of a mother that shows her little boy swimming in the pool with his two sisters who obviously adore him, and he adores them. He's got his little wings on, and they're in the pool. These are family films. And you can feel the love and the strength of that love between each family member. The movie goes on to show, however, that one day the mother thought the child was upstairs. The father thought the child was someplace else. She couldn't find the child, and then they realized the child had gone through the doggy door, to the pool outside, was still alive, but after 2-3 days passed away. These little tiny things, we who are parents know that 1 second, that 2 seconds, children just love to explore, and why not go through the doggy door? If you're a 2-year-old, why not? Because you saw the doggy do it. That's what children do. They imitate. And so even though the child was so well protected when the parents knew the child was in the pool, it's when the child is not. I hope you get to see that because it gets you right in the heart and makes you realize how very, very important the issue of childhood drowning is. It continues to be the leading cause of accidental death for children in southern Nevada, and yet it's preventable. It's not cancer. It's not something else like that that, you know, we can't help if we get. It's preventable. So each year, we designate April 1st as April Pools Day in the city to bring awareness to the dangers of drowning. I'd like to call Tim Szymanski, the Public Education and Information Office for Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, to come up. Tim, there you are. And Tim has worked long and hard on this subject. 14 years I've been on the council, and Tim, you've been there all the time.
And so is Mayor Pro Tem. She was right up there on the front lines. I'm bringing up members of the Southern Nevada Child Drowning Prevention Coalition, and I just want to talk a little bit about the history of April Pools Day. It started about 30 years ago on Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. We went out in the community and was trying to push the ABCDs of drowning prevention: A for adult supervision, B for barriers around the pool itself, C for classes. If children learn how to swim, they can't drown in most cases, and also that adults should learn CPR in case you have a drowning accident. And then D for devices, and most important is the life preserver, the life jacket. A child should never go in or near water unless they're swimming with an adult without a life jacket on. If you're going to the lake and you're going out on a boat, it should be as normal as putting your seatbelt on when you go into a car. It should be a standard procedure, so if something happens, that child has that life preserver on. About 10 years ago, the coalition was formed, the Southern Nevada Child Drowning Prevention Coalition by Greg Blackburn, and I'm going to bring him up here. And instead of just doing it in the one community, we went Southern Nevada wide. On average, 8 children die each year in Southern Nevada due to drowning. That doesn't seem like a lot of children, but anything over 0 is too many. There was actually 51 water-related incidents where children had to be taken to the hospital, and that's children 14 and under, because they had some sort of an incident with water. And unfortunately, it was 8 of those that didn't make it. So this is why we do April Pools Day every year. While you're up here, I want to mention Mayor Pro Tem has been so involved with this. She is actually on the board of directors with the Southern Nevada Child Drowning Prevention Coalition. Each entity has one elected official on it. She's been there. She's always participated in all of our events. The other one, which is not a part of today, is Float Like a Duck.
Yes.
And that's every Memorial Day weekend. And this lady has been there every year at that event since its beginning. And we're there from 12 to 4. And some of those summers have been ruthless. It was like 115 degrees. And she is out there walking around getting pledge cards from adults pledging that they'll watch their children and not leave them unattended. She got door prizes. And it was just fascinating to see her, that she didn't just show up and shake hands. She stayed there the entire time and promoted drowning prevention. So she is really dedicated to the program of drowning prevention here in the city and also in Southern Nevada.
He's giving me too much credit. Basically, he and the others that are there are the ones every single time they're there. And it's held at the Heinrich YMCA.
Right.
I want to mention that. And it's on Memorial Day. It's all day. And there are people there that if the child doesn't know how to swim, they will help them learn how to swim. And you can't use the big slide unless you do get past that swimming test. So I just want you to know that it's a whole lot of people that work on that. You're nice, Tim, but everybody.
It's and tell you, it's the Saturday before Memorial Day. I can't remember this year, but it's the Saturday before Memorial Day. It's a free swim from 12 to 4, and there's all kinds of door prizes and stuff like that. And they also teach the children, if nothing else, if they don't know how to swim, if they fall in the water, they at least know how to float, to stay above the water. So, but I'd like to bring up Greg, who is the chairperson, and he formed the coalition 10 years ago, ironically, and it was to bring everybody in Southern Nevada, all the forces together, all the entities, national, state, local entities. We come together once a month and meet at the Clark County Government Center, and we discuss how we can combat child drowning in Southern Nevada. Greg.
Thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate that. Mayor Pro Tem, if you would come back here. We're not done with you. Again, it's been mentioned before, drowning prevention, child drowning is preventable. They'd mentioned the ABCs and Ds of drowning prevention. The simple thing is adult supervision. We do have the cure of the leading killer of children in our community. We have new parents every year. It's not like we train and the task is over. Every single day it continues. Some of the things, we led the nation in population for drowning. We want to win awards from from UNLV, from our community leaders. We don't want to be leading the nation on drowning. incidents. So with that, I would like to, Tim had mentioned that I helped create, it was a team effort, 100% team effort, with all the communities in Southern Nevada, the City of Henderson, City of Las Vegas, City of North Las Vegas, and Clark County got together and say, what can we do to help cure the cause, solve this problem? We realized what each department had done for drowning prevention, and we wanted to get together and complement each person's efforts. I have to give credit to Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Mayor and Council, City Management, the departments that do this work on a continual basis. Building and Safety, Parks and Recreation, Fire Department, and Metro. They're out in the community. Don't hesitate to share the message that drowning can be prevented. Teaching teenagers to what to look out for, to watch for children. Don't assume someone else is watching your child. If you're hosting a party, a swimming party, be a responsible host. Hire a lifeguard to watch the children. And again, I know we could go on all day, but my message is to, again, to give Mayor Pro Tem Tarkanian a recognition, a certificate for her efforts, and support. Again, support is volume, speaks volumes. And an award to remind you of what you've done for us and what you've done for your community. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I don't feel I deserve this, I tell you. I really don't feel I deserve this. I will tell you, I see some of you out there, and I don't know if we're breaking through into past the psychological barriers we all have in our minds. But these people work so hard, and just think of a little child you know and that you love, and just think of 1 minute, 10 seconds, and that child is gone. And that's what the difference is, and that's why we emphasize we can prevent this. What we can prevent, let's prevent.
Thank you so much. And with that, I'd like to introduce Krista Bilbray to present the check. She represents the Southern Nevada chapter of the International Code Council. They have been the leading financial sponsor of drowning prevention valley-wide. And with that, I'll turn it over to Krista and Kevin.
Go ahead. He introduced you first. Hi, my name is Krista Bilbray, and I represent the Southern Nevada chapter of the International Code Council. This year, the building officials have dedicated $28,000 towards this cause to the local jurisdictions and programs, and we're really proud and honored to be a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you, Krista. I also want to mention that over the past 11 years, the Southern Nevada chapter of the International Code Council has been involved with the Child Drowning Prevention Program and has donated over $175,000 to toddler swim grant programs and child drowning prevention, and we aim to continue this process for as long as we can possibly afford to keep doing it, and we will continue to do it as long as we can. But it's very important, you know, speaking for myself, my kids grew up here in Las Vegas, and when they were toddlers, I took them to the City of Las Vegas Parks Department at Garside Pool, and they got swim lessons here. So I encourage all the parents out there to do the same and have a very happy and safe summer. Thank you.
We're going to do a picture. Here you go. We're going to do a photo.
Okay. We're going to take a photo here, and I was just looking at some of this on the proclamation, which is yours, and I haven't handed it to you yet. Don't go away with it, Chase. There you go. This is your proclamation to make today April Fool's Day. Yes, let's all get close. We're all joining together. That's what I mean. You know, we're all part of the puzzle. The puzzle is getting this to be the best, secure, safest city in the country. And we all contribute to it. Every single person here, anybody in junior high, high school, college, senior homes, whatever, we all contribute. There are 101,000 backyard swimming pools in Southern Nevada, and most of them were constructed prior to 2003, when a code was changed that then required secondary barriers that would further prohibit young children getting into the pools. But those are the ones we have to watch, so be very, very careful. And now we're going to take a picture and give a thank you, and here's your, I just want to tell you this is from the mayor and from all of the council members who greatly support what you're doing and want to help in any way they can. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
We're all going to be together? Okay. Oops, there's one there. Thank you. And that is, if I have a mic, I'll say that that's our final ceremonial item, and now we will begin the regular schedule of items on the agenda. I believe we have to give our people a little bit of time in order to change over tapes or whatever it is technology does nowadays. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're on to agenda item number 9. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium, state your name for the record. This is your opportunity to address the council, but the council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. We'll set the time, if we could, Madam Clerk, at 1 minute. The major rush, again, nothing. So we will now move on to agenda item 10. Business items for possible action. Any items from the 9 a.m. session that the council staff and/or applicant wish to be stricken, tabled, withdrawn, or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Are there any other items that the council wishes to bring forward or to have stricken, table, or held in abeyance?
Madam Mayor. Got this one right here. Madam Mayor, I just wanted to tell you that for our session, we have item number 43, which is a discussion item regarding the approval of a tavern license for change of ownership from HRE Holdings LLC to Fat Tuesday Neonapolis LLC, doing business as Fat Tuesday at 450 Fremont Street, Suite number 101. The request by the applicant is to obey to May 1st of this year.
And that's your motion?
That's my motion. I move. I so move.
Thank you. That's the motion. Please vote and please post. And that motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll move on to agenda item 11. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference to the February 20th, 2019 regular city council meeting, Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to approve the minutes. Please vote and please post. And that motion carries. Agenda items 12 through 33 on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, recommended for approval by the departments, and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any items the council wishes to bring forward? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem, do we have a motion on the
I
consent?
move to approve items number 12, 13, and 14.
12 through 33.
What did I say?
It's all right. We love you. It's all right. Just numbers. It's all numbers.
Oh, excuse me, you
12
want the
through
whole thing at one
33.
time? Okay, then. All the way, 12 through 33.
Okay. Please vote and please post. Motion carries. Thank you very much. And we're on to agenda item number 34, Administrative Report by Tom Perigo, Executive Director of the Community Development, representatives from Nevada Energy, Tenaska Power Services, concerning the provision of renewable electric retail power to the city, and discussion for possible action regarding the options for the city council's selection regarding energy provisions, all wards.
Madam Mayor, I'll be standing in for Tom this morning. Scott Adams, City Manager. I am informing you that as of 9 a.m. this morning, Tenaska submitted in writing a withdrawal of their proposal to provide energy services to the City of Las Vegas. So we're going to highly recommend you strike this item, but before you do, both representatives of Tenaska and NV Energy would like to address the City Council. But let me indicate I think as we've indicated to you all along, the intent was to create a competitive process, and that would result in our ending up with one of the providers giving us a better deal on our energy costs. So it is our intent, based on the action that you took at the last meeting, to continue to work with NV Energy through the PUCN process on their new program, which we've applied for, to achieve that objective. So with that, we recommend a striking of the item, but I would defer to representatives of both companies at your pleasure to make a few comments.
Thank you. I see Mr. David Brown there and appreciate your efforts on behalf of this competition, if you call it that. But, you know, anytime there is competition, it's good for everybody, and we appreciate your interest. And I'm sure it's not the end of Tenaska in the West. But please go ahead, and then we'll hear from Nevada Energy.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Mayor and Council. Dave Brown, 9910 West Cheyenne, here on behalf of Tenaska Power Services. First off, congratulations, Mayor and Councilman Creer, on your victories last night. Well deserved, and we look forward to you guys being here for another term. Congratulations. Second, I really want to thank staff, City Manager Scott and Tom Perigo and all their staff, including your representatives, your consultants, did a fabulous job working with Tenaska, and vetting out the information and proposal that we provided to you is very much competitive, and it became evident yesterday to Tenaska that they would be better served to pull their application today, and so that's what we're doing. But we, again, very much thank you for your time and listening to us, and thank your staff.
Thank you very, very much for applying, and we're grateful. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor, members of the Council. Doug Cannon, President and CEO of NV Energy, and I'm honored to be here today with each of you and appreciate just a few of your minutes to visit with you. First, Mayor, I want to congratulate you and, of course, Councilman Creer on your fantastic election victories last night. We at NV Energy very much look forward to working with you and the Council through another term as we continue to move Las Vegas forward on so many fronts. And that's something we're very much looking forward to. As you see behind me, there's a sea of blue and green shirts. And I want to thank all of our colleagues who are here today and our partners that are here. The individuals behind me represent labor, they represent trade, they represent local businesses, they represent Las Vegas residents. I myself am honored to call Las Vegas home, to be raising my 5 children in this community. They're in the public schools, and we very much love being a part of Las Vegas. I know just as each of these individuals behind me do as well. They understand the importance of energy issues and the role that energy issues play in our economy and in moving our vision of Las Vegas, your vision of Las Vegas, forward. And we very much look forward to being a partner in moving that energy vision forward. We've shown the ability to do that in the past. We were challenged by your city staff, by Tom Perigo and others, to find a solution to make Las Vegas the biggest 100% renewable city in the country. And through the leadership of staff and through unique ideas of NV Energy, we were able to deliver on that. But that was the first step in what is a much broader journey and a much broader partnership. And we very much look forward to engaging with the city as we move that partnership forward. NV Energy brings to the table competitive prices, we bring certainty, we bring simplicity, and we bring transparency. I'm here today because I want to commit to the City of Las Vegas that we will continue to work with your staff on delivering lower cost energy solutions to the city. It's important for us, we know it's important for the city, so that you can manage your fiscal affairs in ways that bring the most benefit to the residents of this city. So we are here to tell you that in 2020, we will be filing a general rate case in front of the Public Utilities Commission, and we will be requesting that the Public Utilities Commission cut our rates by over $100 million. And we're committing to that. I'm also here to tell you that we are committed to working with the city to deliver the benefits of the optional pricing program that we've already started to work with your staff on. We will continue to work on that, and we will deliver those benefits for the city. In addition, We will deliver a solution to the city that allows the city to be 100% renewable and continue to be a leader in the environmental and sustainability field in this country. We are committed to being a partner with the city. We appreciate the partnership that we've had for more than 100 years, and we look forward to what the next 100 years will bring for the city of Las Vegas and all of its residents. So I appreciate your time today, Mayor and council members.
And I think what we have all felt over these years is that you're family. We know this is home for us. But as we pull together all the time and do the best we can do, it will only make us stronger and make us more reputable in building a world-class city. And I really want to thank Tom Perigo and our team here for everything that they've worked so hard on to make sure that we are able to deliver the 100% renewable energy for the city. So your family, and we just are so grateful. And I don't know if council would like to make some comment here. Okay. Yes?
Yes, I'm just very pleased, and I think, Ed, you should get a thank you, too, for all the information you gave us, and great Nevada Energy, and great for our labor, and just pleased that we got this settled quickly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're so grateful. Go NV Energy. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now it's time to go back to work. This is not a pleasure day, just because we're here. Work, work, work. Anyway, thank you. Thank you all. It's great. Yes, please.
I think I need a motion to strike.
Oh, yes, wait, don't go so fast. We need a motion to strike. Go for it.
Okay. Before I do that, Scott, so we're clear that we're going down this OPP funnel with NV Energy. We are doing that?
Absolutely. We've submitted our application. It was an intense process to get it in.
Okay.
We will see that, the interesting part of this, we now have a team in place to work with us, to work with NV Energy all the way through the PUCN process. And our hope would be they get their new program on and that we can save in our costs through that new program working with NV Energy.
Okay, great. That's what I wanted to hear. So with that, Mayor, I will make a motion to strike item number 34.
Thank you very much. This motion to strike 34. Please vote and please post. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Councilman. Thank you.
And you know, Mayor, I think we should thank all the people who came today from unions and other places, and they've called us on the phone because it shows your interest in having things go well in the city. It's nice you took the time.
Thank you. Yes, no, absolutely. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to agenda item number 35, report by Lorna James Cervantes, School Associate Superintendent, Clark County School District, to provide a status update on various matters in the Clark County School District. This is in reference to all wards. And so, Dr. Morris Hibbler, I think you're somewhere here. Do you see Lisa? Well, I would say, Ms. James Cervantes, let's go ahead. Oh, here she comes.
I don't think she could hear you.
She was overwhelmed by Nevada Energy, NV Energy. That's why she couldn't get in.
That's right. She couldn't get through the crowd.
Right.
I was trying. Good morning, Mayor and members of the council, Dr. Lisa Morris Hibbler.
Director of the Department of Youth Development and Social Innovation. We are here today as a requirement of Assembly Bill 469 for the quarterly report from the Clark County School District. Since the December quarterly report, Superintendent Dr. Jesus Jara has published the Focus 2024 strategic plan and also restructured his leadership, which you'll hear more about today. With me this morning is Lorna James Cervantes, the school associate superintendent, and Derek Volkowitz, the principal of the Lead STEM Academy. It's one of our newest magnet schools.
Good morning, Mayor Goodman and members of the council. I am Lorna James Cervantes, School Associate Superintendent in the Clark County School District. And with me today, I would like to introduce, and they'll stand up in the back, Region Superintendent Debbie Brockett, and also our newest School Associate Superintendent, Dr. Sam Scavella, who has joined the Region 2 team in the Clark County School District as part of the reorganization of the district.
Welcome.
So just to give a, will it advance on its own? Just to give a little bit of information as to where we are right now within the district and where we have come. Currently in the legislative session, we're about halfway through. One of the big topics has been the funding for schools in Nevada, as you all know. Currently, Nevada's per pupil funding level is one of the lowest in the nation. And it's important to remember that our funding formula was created in 1967, and I won't tell you who was born that year, but it's somebody here, probably maybe even a few other people in the audience. And so if we make a little comparison or an analogy in our mind, think about at that time, it was like using the pay phones, and kids today don't even know what a pay phone is, when you'd have to put a dime in to make a call. And today, the needs of our schools and the needs of students are like a smartphone. So think about that shift in technology. That's what's happening in the shifting in schools and the needs of students, but not in the shifting of funding in Nevada schools. The other concern is that in Nevada schools, we're currently thinking of all students as starting in the same place. However, we know, as Superintendent Jara shared with you in our last meeting, that not all students start at home plate and are able to go around the bases at an even rate, just like we expect in a baseball game. Some start on first base, some on second, and some still in the dugout. And we know that that means that there has to be a difference and a weight in the funding for those students. So that is one of the important issues that we are speaking about in the legislative session currently. Now to the 2024 Focus Plan. Throughout this past fall, Superintendent Jara met with members of the leadership group within the school district, along with holding several town hall meetings to create what is now the Focus 2024 plan for the Clark County School District. And you'll notice that student success is the center of this plan. It has to be what we're all about. It is our business. Surrounding students are the teachers, the principal, and the staff in the schools that serve them every single day. And in order to support the teachers, the students, and the staff, we have a coherent governance and leadership structure, as well as sound fiscal management from the central office services. And it's just as important to remember that in order for our students to succeed, we need partnership with our parents and with our community. And that's where all of you come in, is that partnership that you are with us in the schools. Another piece of the Focus 2024 plan was the reorganization of the district. You may have heard that the district is now being divided into 3 regions. Each of those regions consists of 1 region superintendent and 2 school associate superintendents. Then they will also be joined by specific staff in different areas such as special education, English language learner services, other departments, student services departments, to help to support specifically students within that region of the school district. Another key focus is that by the time we start next school year, all of the region offices will be located in what are the area service centers. So they will be out in the community, in the schools, so that we are much closer to the schools, serving them very closely, and also being very accessible to the community. So those are some of the biggest shifts that have already taken place or are in the process of taking place right now. Also, the goals that were set and approved by the school board are centered around 4 main areas. There are 4 student success goals. These are making sure that we are meeting the needs of our students in the schools every day, increasing the achievement levels of all of our students in all of our schools, no matter what ward or what zip code they are in the city, making sure that we are closing the achievement gaps between the highest and the lowest performing students, and giving all students optimal opportunities to participate in advanced placement, magnet school opportunities, career and technical education, and all kinds of other advanced placement opportunities within the district, as well as ensuring that all of our students are having the opportunity to graduate college and career ready. Also looking at personnel, making sure that we are hiring the best for every single one of our schools. This has goals centered around making sure that we are attracting, hiring, and retaining the best teachers for every one of our schools in the district. And then once we do have those teachers and those staff members in our schools, making sure that we are recognizing them and that we are letting them know when they are doing an outstanding job, and that we want them to remain here in Clark County, as so many of us have. I myself moved to Clark County 28 years ago from Colorado and have been here since, because it has given me such wonderful opportunities. Also, we have several goals around sound fiscal management and making sure that we are using every single dollar that we have wisely within the districts. And you'll also notice that there are 3 goals around parent and community engagement, because we know that without the community and the parents involved in our schools, that we will not succeed. This is such an important piece of being successful as a district. We have set some very, very high goals for ourselves and for the community as a whole. It is our goal that by 2024, there will be no more 1- or 2-star schools. We know this is a lofty goal, but it's a goal we are ready to work toward. And we know that if we don't set high goals, we won't meet high goals. If we set low goals, then that's the highest we're going to get. We also have a goal of a 90% graduation rate for the district as a whole. And a 100% increase in college and career-ready diplomas for our students across the district. Further, we also would like to see a 100% increase in the participation and performance in advanced placement, international baccalaureate, dual enrollment, and career and technical education for students across the Clark County School District. These are big goals. They're important goals, and I think these are goals that are in line with the goals and the vision of the City of Las Vegas, and with your partnership, we can reach these goals. I know that you're all tuned in all of the time, but for anyone who would like to see bills that are coming through the legislative session that are specific to the Clark County School District, you can always track those through ccsd.net/spotlight, and there will always be updates on what's happening that directly affects the Clark County School District and your children or grandchildren or nieces and nephews who are living in Nevada and are in school still. So those are just a few of the highlights that I had to offer, but I know you would like to hear from an outstanding principal who lives and works here in Las Vegas. So I would at this time like to introduce Mr. Derek Falcavage from Lead STEM Academy, and he's here with his one of his assistant principals, so I will turn it over to them.
Thank you very much. This is my assistant principal and partner, Christy Ford. We work hand in hand, and I want to thank Mayor Pro Tem, and the council members for allowing us this opportunity to talk about our absolutely amazing school that we are creating. And I say we're creating because a year and a half ago, we learned that we were becoming a magnet school through a federal grant through the Magnet School Assistance Program. And once we got that information, we saw this as an opportunity to completely rebrand our school. It was Lead Middle School, and the first thing we did was change our name to Lead STEM Academy. We also decided that our 3 focus areas were going to be robotics, architecture, and computer science. At that point, with help from our community, we expanded those to robotics and manufacturing, computer science and IT and cybersecurity, and architecture and construction management. Because what we realized and what we decided at that time was we want to help our children get skills that they are going to need for their futures. And we also want to show them that they do not have to leave Southern Nevada to be successful. That there are opportunities here in Southern Nevada for all of our students in Clark County. So the 3 areas of focus that we chose are also areas of need of employment in Southern Nevada. And it was absolutely amazing, the outpour of support from our community. We have an advisory board that helps us with our long-range planning. On our advisory board, we have members from Nevada Energy, Southwest Gas, the Nevada Contractors Association, Fanatics, UNLV, Northwest Career Technical Academy, Advanced Technical Academy.
RTC.
RTC. So with all of those, they're helping us build our programs so that, again, our students get the skills that they need to be successful. Uh-oh, lost my notes. My phone shut down. So one of the other things that we started doing at Lead STEM Academy is project and inquiry-based learning. So basically, our students no longer do they need to memorize facts. We have Siri for that. We have Alexa for that. So we're teaching our students how to actually use those facts and how to incorporate those facts into what they're doing on a daily basis. And they are incorporating all different subject areas at the same time with our project-based learning. We also started doing something called STEM Tank, where our students are doing a project, a large-scale school-wide project with a main focus where all of their content areas come together and work towards solving a problem in the community. Our first semester, our students designed and built a toy for children with cerebral palsy. This semester, our students are designing a housing development with green energy in mind. We are inviting you and all of our community partners to come and watch our students actually present. We call it STEM Tank because they do a Shark Tank pitch to whoever comes and watches. And I'm going to tell you right now, because we did it first semester and we're going to do it again in May, our students will amaze you. You will be floored at the fact that we have 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old children who will stand in front of adults they don't know, dignitaries, not blink an eye, and tell you about their project and their proposal.
Can you make sure that we get that invitation? Because I would love to see that.
Yes, we have them for you. Absolutely, absolutely. And so our STEM Tank is one of the culminating projects that our students perform during the school year. So one of the things that we're very proud of is the fact that, again, our community has rallied around us. So when we first became a magnet school, there were naysayers in the community because we were Lead Middle School that said, well, you're never going to be able to recruit students. You're going to have a hard time recruiting students to come to your school. That first year, we were selling a dream because nothing was in place yet, and we had over 1,000 applicants, which we raised our incoming sixth graders from 500 acceptances to 600 because we had so many applicants. This year, with only 1 year under our belt, not even a year, we now have over 2,000 applicants. We have the most applicants of any magnet school in the Clark County School District. So what we are doing, the community is embracing. and they want their children to come to our school. We are working with our community partners to redesign our classrooms. The Nevada Contractors Association has donated labor and materials to redesign our classrooms into collaborative spaces. So no longer are students sitting in rows, they're now sitting on sometimes floors, tables, in groups, but they're collaborating with each other, which is exactly what they're going to have to do in the future. We are teaching also the soft skills that go along with the content that they're learning in their regular classes. So we feel as though we are redefining and redesigning education in the Clark County School District, and we hope to be a model for other middle schools, high schools, and elementary schools as we move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am here if there are any other questions, or we're both here if there are any other questions, but we want to thank you all. And I know that Councilwoman Fiore, you really specifically have reached out and supported LEAD STEM Academy, so we want to thank you for that.
Yes, thank you very much for your support.
Yes, please.
If I could just say something, thank you very much for your presentation. Early in the presentation, you talked about the Nevada Plan for Education in 1967. Yeah, it's old, but it is defensible in the courts. That plan is unassailable in terms of discrimination against district to district. So it's important to remember that. Some states have lost billions because they didn't care for their small counties. So we have to remember that we can never neglect the small counties, the small school districts, or we pay. On the other hand, everybody needs more money, and every district needs more money, and an efficient use of the money. So I wish you well. I was up in Carson City last week. I think you have a good chance. But at the same time, remember, be very careful to not let people tamper too much with that plan. Yeah, it's long, it's complicated, but it works. Yeah, it's definitely hard to understand sometimes. And I don't know, I wasn't there at the time, but I can tell you that they had in mind discrimination at that point. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for that advice. We appreciate it, Councilman.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, please.
If I might. Now, you are a magnet school, just like the other magnet schools in the district. I mean, you're part of the district, right? You're not a private school.
Correct.
I think that's tremendous what you've done. Do you follow the same rules as far as admittance is concerned? Do the children that live within 2 miles, are they allowed to come?
So
Because they're supposed to have, more points to get in than children who live further away.
Right. So we are in a 100% wall-to-wall magnet. So every student who comes to LEAD STEM Academy has to apply to get in. But we do have a preference for students who live within what used to be our attendance zone. Yes.
I'm a fortunate person in that I was able to start the first magnet school at Clark.
Yeah.
That's number one. And also that I have a background in special education. First, I want to say that's tremendous what you're doing. Secondly, I want to say I know how hard you're working to try and straighten everything out. I do want to say a couple of things, however, rather strongly. And this, I want to say, is every time someone's come here from the CCSD to talk to us, I've asked questions about special ed. I've been told I'd get information. I never got the information. I want to tell you that I know that you are teetering very closely on getting a very huge federal lawsuit because the city, CCSD, is breaking the law as far as special education students is concerned. I know this because I was a former member and probably will be a member again after June of an advocacy group that works to help special ed students. And yet, we hire people to direct these departments in special ed who have no training, no experience in special ed. We take schools where people have worked for years to build up a good working relationship of including some of these special ed children who have the whole regular faculty and the special ed faculty working together, and then all of a sudden, somebody decides, no, you have to move to a school that's about 2.5 miles away, which breaks up the whole thing. Even though the school wanted to keep it, the parents wanted to keep it, and no good reasons are given. Now, that's not breaking the law. You can do that if you want to, but it sure doesn't make good sense, because it takes a long time to build up those skills of working together to help these children with special needs. And right now, I'm telling you, a lawyer is being sought out to represent these families, and I don't know if anybody listens to what I say up here, but I have a lot of experience in education. I have a lot of contacts still with people in special ed, and I hope somebody will look at where we are and what's happening and really listen to the people who teach special ed and who directly supervise. On the other hand, I want to say good luck to you, because I know how hard it is. But in the special ed, I'm saying that again because it's going to come soon if some changes aren't made. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and Mayor Pro Tem, I appreciate that comment. Lorna James Cervantes for the record, and I will take your concerns directly back. We will, the three of us today, and part of the reorganization as well put Dr. Deanna Jaskolski in charge of the special education division as well, and we will ensure that she has the information that you brought forward and take your requests back as well.
Because listen to the people, all I'm saying is listen to the people who know special ed, who are absolutely successful already in special ed, rather than perhaps a new administrator who looks on it on paper. Thank you so much. I know you will. I know you're working hard, and I wish you lots of success. And I want to come out to your school, too.
Please.
Maybe I'll go when she comes out, but I want to come out. That's wonderful. I think our magnet schools in the district do a great job. I like the inquiry-oriented curriculum. I just think it's magnificent. I used it sometimes when I was a director, and so good luck to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I would like to extend an invitation, just not to the STEM tank, but anytime you want to come to our campus, it is open.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilman Coffin and then Councilman Greer.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm glad Councilwoman Tarkanian brought that up. You know, I did not hear about this when I was in Carson City last week, and it was on other business, but the point is, if this is true, then it puts a spotlight on what the federal government did with 94-142 and the IDEA Act. Provided federal funding in the beginning and made it slip to where it's, 2, 3, 4% now of the education budget. So special ed, honorably started, was never backed by the federal government to assist the local school districts. Right. So if it is true that we are slipping behind and subject to lawsuit, then we should be prepared for a tax increase to pay for this, because it will be required. The state, all the legislators have done their very best, but there's only so much money to go around. So if it is true, we have a lawsuit going, it could theoretically be successful. It ought to name the federal government as a defendant, because they started this with great promises and then did not deliver the money that they forced us to spend. So make sure, because it's worth it. It really is worth it. Anyway, I just want to pass that on to you for my own experience. If we're going to get sued, we're going to get a tax increase if we lose. Thank you.
Councilman Greer,
Thank
newly
you.
elected.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Once again, blessed to have you. As you know, I represent Ward 5, and the city under Dr. Morris Hibbler's leadership, we have our Reinvent School program. 13 Reinvent schools, 8 of them are located within Ward 5. So as you go through your goals, and I would like to meet with you specifically and to understand specifically what is the strategy and the plan to bring our schools within Ward 5 up to standards. We can talk about broad-based goals all day long, but I want to know specifically exactly what is being done for the schools in my ward. And I was somewhat opposed to the breakup of the school district because of the fact that I vehemently believe that there would become a case of have and have-nots. And historically, schools, even my old schools that I went to school with, have been left behind. And so I'd like for you to make an appointment with me, if you wouldn't mind, to discuss specifically where we are with getting our schools up to par.
We'd be happy to do that, and I'll work
Great.
with Lisa to make sure that happens.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for your time. That does conclude our report.
Mayor, I think before Lisa leaves, we should just say publicly how great a job you've done, Lisa. Really, really good. Working so well with the district and working so well to keep us informed, and we want to back you all the way. Did a great job. Want to let you know publicly.
Thank you, and thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
all
coming
today.
down. We appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. We'll move on to agenda items 36 and 46 together. So I'll read both into the record now. Item 36, report by Robert R. Ulmer, Dean of the UNLV Greenspun College of Urban Affairs, and Tom Perigo, Executive Director of Community Development, regarding a partnership between the University of Nevada and Las Vegas City and Las Vegas to develop a community resilience framework. And item number 46, R-12-2019, discussion for possible action to approve a resolution for a partnership between the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Greenspun College of Urban Affairs, City of Las Vegas to develop a community resilience framework, and this is in reference to all wards. And I hope you will describe what you mean by a community resilience framework.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, Tom Perigo, Executive Director of Community Development, and yes, we will do our best to explain that. And I appreciate being able to present this item because it really is an important part of our overall sustainability initiative. Las Vegas is in many ways a leader in resilient communities. We're constantly evolving our infrastructure, public services to respond to changing conditions and changing needs in our community. Public safety and emergency management have been put to the test and have proven their resilience in response to extreme events. We have proven that we are a resilient community. We've proven that we are Vegas strong. The world has taken notice of that. Investors and bond rating agencies are increasingly looking at community resilience when making decisions on where to invest and looking at establishing a city's bond ratings. They want to know that we as a city are looking at adapting constantly our systems, our infrastructure, so that we can respond to any shock that comes our way, and more importantly, that we're able to respond and recover. And that's what this being a resilient community is all about. I'm sure Dr. Ulmer will be able to articulate that much better than me. But community resilience is vital to our economy, but resilience requires vigilance. And so what this partnership does, what the resolution that is before you today, with UNLV, we will review the city's shocks, stresses, and capacities, consider current planning and economic development strategies, gain perspectives from public, private, and nonprofit sectors, and identify actionable initiatives to address resilience needs. We as a city, although we are, each department and all of the work we're doing is helping to build community to make life better, but build a resilient community, we don't have the resources to take this deep dive look at our systems and our infrastructure, but UNLV does. And so I'm very happy to introduce Robert Ulmer, the Dean of the Greenspun College of Urban Affairs, and he will present his commitment and what this means to his university. And I've been working with this group for a number of years, and what they're doing at the Greenspun College is truly amazing, and they're completely retooling their entire college around this idea of building a resilient community. I'll let Dean Ulmer talk about that.
Thank you, Mr. Perigo. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Rob Ulmer from the Dean of the Greenspun College of Urban Affairs, and I'm here with Chris Stream, Director of School of Public Policy and Leadership in the college, and Joel Lieberman, Chair of the Department of Criminal Justice. And yeah, we're excited about the opportunity to work with the city. We are excited about the opportunity to engage our faculty and our students in resilience opportunities within the community. I think when Tom mentioned the idea of cities being able to take charge of the shocks and stresses that they may experience moving forward, this is an opportunity for the college to work with the city, to have students and faculty use their expertise to get a sense of what the city and what community members feel are potential shocks and stresses, and then consider those and develop a plan for resilience moving forward. So if you look around the world, cities are going through all different kinds of transformations or experiencing things from terrorism to environmental stresses to things like homelessness and social issues that are chronic stresses. And a lot of cities are looking elsewhere to figure out for those answers. And what we believe Las Vegas is a leader in the world when it comes to social activities, when it comes to tourism, when it comes to tourism safety. And so we'd like to work with the city, engage with the city, engage our students and faculty in those activities. And so in the college, we have the School of Social Work, we have the School of Criminal Justice, School of Public Policy and Leadership, the School of Journalism and Media Studies, and the Department of Communication Studies. So we have academic disciplines in which we are ready to promote resilience, ready to develop pilot programs around these issues, and find ways to create the most resilient community we possibly can in Las Vegas.
Thank you, Dr. Elmer. And so,
And so, Mayor, just for a couple of examples, and I think we've sort of given you the very high-level framework of what community resilience is all about. But a couple of examples that are fairly recent, when we had extensive drought that dried out the forests up in the mountains, and then we have a weather event that creates a forest fire, and then we have unprecedented rains washing all that debris and all that flooding into our city. That's our flood control. How do we respond to these changing weather conditions and more extreme weather conditions, extreme drought, extreme storms? And we know that they are getting more extreme over time. We see that in terms of, it's very easy to look up the insurance money that's spent and the government money that's spent to recover from these major events. And just the city, we have all these stories about how we are constantly evolving and developing our infrastructure to be able to handle those kind of situations, but that we're able to recover. And when businesses are looking where to invest and move their business, they want to know a city's prepared for these kinds of things and is thinking about and working on it, and they're not going to get hit with a huge property tax bill down the road because, oh shoot, we didn't think about flood control. Well, we've been taking care of that for years, and we continue to look at that. How does all of this fit together as a community, and how do we step back and look at it and take a big picture, broad look at this? And that's what the university brings with the researchers, with the professors, and with the students who are very engaged in this and want to participate and help the city, just to take a broader look and make sure that we are addressing our vulnerabilities, that we understand them, and that we're continually adapting. We have done some of this work in the past. NV Energy's been a good partner. They're constantly looking at their systems. As we have extreme high heat days, the transformers and other equipment might start to fail. So they're constantly looking at ways that they can continually upgrade that equipment to withstand these kind of shocks as well. It all fits together, it's all interdependent, and we need more of a systems approach to look at this.
and are we doing anything to assist in grant applications? Or is it all through the UNLV Urban Affairs?
That's a great question, Your Honor. The beauty of this particular program, if you approve this resolution and we formalize this partnership, is it will not cost the city anything. There are no additional resources that we will expend on this effort. In fact, we will now be gaining the expertise of the university to work with us on this. And as a partnership, we will have opportunities for grant money. There's an organization called 100 Resilient Cities, which is a membership of the largest cities around the world, and they have reached out to us, and they have said if we form a partnership, they would like us to be involved. That will instantly put Las Vegas on the map as a global leader in resilient communities. And that effort is backed by the Rockefeller Foundation, and they are looking to bring some of those resources to our city to help us with this effort.
I think we did get notification in the mayor's office, which I probably passed on to you. But it's a very exciting time, and certainly the partnership looks great. As I understand, number 36 is just the report, but agenda item 46 would require a motion.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is there any further presentation? Wonderful. Are they
Madam
going to
Mayor?
come down to Fifth Street School? Have an office in Fifth Street School, our pretty little Fifth Street School.
What was the question again?
What was the question?
Well, because we have the Graduate School of Architecture in our Fifth Street School, and of course, we've had UNLV down here in City Hall as well.
Yep.
So just wondering if we're going to have a physical presence here in City Hall.
We can.
Yes, Your Honor, we, and Jorge's been lead on this, but we are constantly in conversation with the university looking at all kinds of opportunities to bring, parts of some of their, the university downtown, to give students direct access to the courts, to the engineering firms, to the local governments, to work and intern downtown as well as learn downtown. So.
Thank you. And Councilman Anthony had a question or comment, please.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is going to be a great partnership. I appreciate you coming to the city and doing this. I just want to mention one thing, though. I have my PhD from UNLV, so I love getting involved in these academic, high-level discussions with my professors back then. And those are a lot of fun, but we just have to remember those have to turn into something that goes into a neighborhood and makes people's lives better. So I just want to emphasize that we're doing those sorts of things. We're not just having academic discussions just to do it. So if you could just comment on that and just encourage me that those things are going to happen and that you're going to be doing some great things in my ward and the rest of the wards in the entire city.
Yeah, the college is really focused on solutions, and so we're working on things like youth homelessness with Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, and we're developing practical solutions around these issues. So you're exactly right. We want to make a difference in the city, and the goal is not to have necessarily academic discussions about these, but to develop practical, actionable solutions that work. And that's really what resilience is all about, right, is creating networks and conversations, but also developing actionable solutions that will work in communities.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. And did, Mr. Patino,
Mayor, could
did you want to make a comment? Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Edgar Patino with NV Energy, 6226 West Sahara. Like Tom mentioned, at NV Energy, we actually are very interested in resiliency and redundancy. We actually incorporate that into everything that we do at the company. It's built into our DNA. We have actually participated in these types of exercises before, and so to the extent that the council or staff is interested, we'll be happy to lend our expertise and time into this effort, because we believe it's important, because everything that we do, I think, is, as it's tied into energy and into all of the other systems in the community, we'll be happy to help out. So we fully support the
I
item.
would think we would expect that and welcome it for sure. Thank you, Mr. Patino.
Thank you.
So I would entertain a motion on agenda item 46, Mayor Pro Tem.
I'd like to move to approve the partnership between UNLV and the city.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote. Please post.
And Mayor, could I say a word or two, since, I only have 2 more months left, so I'm making all these comments.
3 months. You have 3 months.
Oh,
Don't
3 months,
knock it off
whatever,
so fast.
whatever. I just want to say that when I was relatively new on the council and your husband was mayor, a gentleman would walk past every once in a while, and Oscar would say, "Who's that? Who's that?" And that he'd say, "Do you work for us? Do you work for us?" And it would turn out to be Tom. And he would say, "Oh, is that what you do?" And I just want to tell you that in the intervening years, I've found that you do an awful lot for us. You have put us at the top in sustainability and things like that. So I want to be sure that the mayor emphasizes that tonight at dinner with the mayor, that I remembered who's that as you would walk by. I didn't know him.
Not
I don't
only
even know.
who's that, but what are green chips, for heaven's sake?
Yes. So, in any case, I just want to tell you, Tom, you certainly have done a fantastic job, and this is just one example of what you do. Thank you.
Okay, and that
Thank you so
motion
much for those
carries.
kind words, Mayor Pro Tem. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And we're very grateful. We'll look forward to this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, let's go on to agenda item 37, report by John Ensminger, General Manager of the Southern Nevada Water Authority, Tom Perigo, Executive Director of Community Development, concerning water conservation efforts within the city and across the region, all wards. Mr. Perigo, we have another report.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We also have a star. He's been on Hello, Mayor, and so helpful. And I invite you back on because I think the venue Mr. Riggleman, is just to get the information out to the people. You don't have to let your water run all day long while you're brushing your teeth or whatever you're doing.
So it's very fitting after having a presentation on community resilience that now we're going to talk about our most precious resource in our desert community, and that is clearly water. There's a lot of work to do here, so really excited to have Mr. Ensminger, General Manager of the Southern Nevada Water Authority and the Las Vegas Valley Water District, here to give us an update. And then following his comments, I just have a few slides to share some of the activities that the city's doing to support the water conservation efforts. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Ensminger.
Is that Lake Mead water?
It is absolutely Lake Mead water.
I know every time my family goes out and they ask, do you want Perrier or do you want sparkling soda, we say, just give us Lake Mead.
There you are. I can tell you exactly what's in Lake Mead water. Nobody can tell you exactly what's in the bottled water you buy. It's not tested to nearly the same standards.
Right.
I'd like to add my congratulations to Mayor Goodman, Councilman Creer on your re-elections. We certainly look forward to continuing to work with you guys. And as Tom said, I think it's completely appropriate to talk about our water system and our water supply following a discussion about community resilience, because I think to Councilman Anthony's point, we haven't just been sitting around studying this problem. Our community has taken on-the-ground action over the last 20 years that frankly has resulted in Southern Nevada being the most water-secure city in the southwestern part of the United States. So how did we get there? The Water Authority, sometimes people sort of forget what the Water Authority is. Nobody gets a bill from the Water Authority. We provide water to the City of Las Vegas, unincorporated Clark County, Henderson, North Las Vegas, and Boulder City. We oversee coordinating regional conservation. We're not a regulatory agency, but through our coordination, those plans then get translated into the county code, the city code, water district service rules, so that there's a level playing field for the rules of the road for conservation throughout our community. Water supply planning, we do a 50-year resource plan every single year so that our community always has a 5-decade outlook on what our water supply situation looks like. Water quality, we operate 2 world-class water treatment facilities at Lake Mead. Infrastructure, by April of next year, when we bring our new pump station online, we will have constructed $3.7 billion in water delivery and treatment infrastructure since 1995. And then stewardship, we've overseen restoration of the Las Vegas Wash, our partners in operating the Las Vegas Springs Preserve, the Warm Springs Natural Area, so we're very conscious of taking care of our natural environment. So we do have an important job. We supply water to 7 out of every 10 people that live in the state of Nevada, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And people think of Las Vegas as using a lot of water, right? They stroll the boulevard, they look at the fountains at the Bellagio, they think we're kind of a profligate water user. But the fact is, Clark County as a whole, with 73% of the state's population and 76% of the state's economic output, uses less than 5% of the water available in the state of Nevada. We're blessed with a highly efficient base economy in our tourism industry, so we actually use very little water to generate the amount of economic output that our community is blessed with.
Could you just say that again, that last sentence?
In terms of the amount of water? So Clark County as a whole, with 2.2 million people, has 73% of the state's population, 76% of the state's GDP, and uses less than 5% of the water available in the state of Nevada. So next time somebody criticizes us for, the Bellagio fountains or anything else, you tell them we'll take the Pepsi challenge against any other economic use of water in the western United States.
Madam Mayor, mind if I ask you a question, Mr. Ensminger? That's an amazing statistic. And if I hadn't heard it from you today, I probably wouldn't know that. And my wife works for the water district. She works for the authority. I think when you put it in our perspective, it really is amazing how that is. And is that more through our conservation efforts? Is that just we just don't use as much water than as a combination of the rest of the state, and really is amazing.
Right. Well, there's a couple of things that go into it. Probably the biggest one is we have essentially 100% indoor recycling. If it hits a drain in Southern Nevada, we treat it, and not we, you treat it, because we don't do wastewater, but the city does. You treat it, put it back down the Las Vegas Wash, which Kiba oversees. We get a return flow credit for that, so everything that hits a drain goes back into the lake. We get to take it back out. So the only way we lose water out of our system is through outdoor irrigation and evaporative cooling. So we have a very tight system to start with. You know, if you like that statistic, in terms of our base economy, the resort industry in Southern Nevada, so the whole strip, all of downtown Las Vegas, all of our outlying neighborhood casinos, they use less than 0.1% of all the water available in the state of Nevada in return for 22% of the jobs in the entire state. So that is why we're so efficient. Okay?
Issues, of course, are agriculture, which uses an enormous amount of water in the rest of the state. I think that's the thing. It's the same thing we have a battle with Imperial Irrigation District in California, right?
Certainly, agriculture uses a lot of water. Out of the Colorado River, there's 40 million Americans that take water from the Colorado River. There's 5.5 million acres of agricultural land. Agriculture uses 75 to 80% of the water from the river. But, you know, the people I provide water to also like to eat food, so I'm not anti-ag. I'm just pointing out that we're very efficient, and there are ways to make agriculture more efficient. It's just going to take investments. Okay. Oh, probably. So, but all of that water, 90% of our water comes from the Colorado River. And that is a river system that, as you can see from the picture, anybody that's been to Lake Mead over the last decade can see is imperiled. The lake is down about 130 feet since the turn of the century. This just graphically shows, so the left-hand vertical column is feet above sea level. So we turned the century at over 1,200 feet above sea level of the surface of Lake Mead, and today we sit at 1088, so a rather rapid decline, and one that we need to be prepared to continue. This is a graphic from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation that shows, because of the wet winter we've had, not only locally, but up in the Colorado Rockies and Utah, we're probably going to stay about the same for the next year. But if we get another couple of dry years, the lake could very quickly go down 30, 40, 50 feet again. So we need to be prepared for that to continue, whether it does or not. Because this is what life looks like if we drop another 88 feet. Lake Mead will only have 17% of its capacity left. Hoover Dam will stop generating electrical power, and the ability to deliver water downstream to California, Arizona, and the Republic of Mexico would be imperiled. So what are we doing locally? I'm going to go through each of our actions that we've taken locally, beginning with water banking. So you see the 244,000 acre-foot number. That's how much water we consumptively used from the Colorado River last year. If you stack up what we have in banked resources, and we've been banking water, injecting water into our aquifer here in the valley, banking it with our partners in Arizona and California, banking it in Lake Mead since the mid-90s, and we now have 1.8 million acre-feet of water in reserve. So you add that up, that's 7 to 8 years of our current usage that we have in reserves. There's no other municipal area in the southwestern United States that does anything close to this. Infrastructure. I mentioned the $3.7 billion that we've been building. Between our third intake and our low lake level pumping station, by next year we will have spent $1.5 billion not making our water system resilient, making our water system immune to the drought cycle. And that makes us able, if you look at that 1075, I'm sorry, at the 1095 elevation, if we're unfortunate enough to ever see the lake drop that low, that's the point where the Bureau of Reclamation cannot physically release water through Hoover Dam downstream to California, Arizona, and the Republic of Mexico. Our pumps and our pipe will still have 20 feet of water over it. So this is what puts us in a fantastic position. We may have gotten the short end of the stick in the river negotiations in 1922, but we have something nobody else has. That's the ability to be upstream on the side of gravity. I do want to talk a little bit. We have a drought contingency plan that the 7 basin states transmitted to Congress on March 19th. We all testified back in DC last week, and I'm happy to report that as of today, the U.S. Senate is moving that plan through on unanimous consent, which means, if you've ever, can imagine this in this day and age, all 100 U.S. senators have signaled yes, that they will move that through without going through committee directly to the floor of the U.S. Senate. And that is critical because without that plan, what you see here is through 2026, without the plan, we have about a 50% probability of getting down to elevation 1020. With that plan in place, we reduce that risk to about 5%. So it's a critical regional, 7 states plus the Republic of Mexico, all agreeing to take less water and bolster this river system. So what does shortage really mean? Shortage often sounds like people assume you have to use less than you're currently using. But for us, our community's been so successful in our conservation efforts, we've already conserved what we would be forced to pay. So right now, when the lake is above 1075, we're allowed to take our full entitlement. As the lake goes down, we drop from 300 down to 270, right, in terms of what we're legally allowed to take out of the lake. Well, last year we used 244. So for us, shortage is purely a legal definition, and what it really translates into for Southern Nevada is we have less extra water. So we're gonna have less extra water to put into our banks over the next several years, but a shortage in no way means we don't have enough water. So I talked a little bit about return flows already, so I won't go through it again. The main point being the focus of our conservation plans is on limiting outdoor use, because limiting indoor use doesn't actually extend our supplies. We're a world leader in urban water conservation. We have a lot of fun numbers you can take your pick of. My favorite is we could take an 18-inch piece of sod and lay it 96 of the way around the circumference of the earth. That's how much grass we've taken out of this valley. And the city of Las Vegas, and I know Tom's going to show some slides, the city of Las Vegas, not just your residents, has played a direct role in that. You've implemented enough projects since 2002 to annually save, I believe it's about 345 million gallons of water. So tip of the hat to the city. And this is the results of that population, or of the conservation efforts. Since 2002, while our population has grown by 43%, our per capita water usage has declined by 36%, and our consumptive use of water is down 26%. However, we've taken our foot off the gas, and we can't continue to do that. While we've been a world leader over the last 20 years, since 2015, while our population has grown, our water usage per capita and our consumptive use has ticked up. So we need to reinvigorate our conservation efforts. Our entire community is going to need to come together and take additional steps to control our demand for water. Because if we control our demand, there's not a situation where we're going to have a water supply problem in this community. So why did that happen? Certainly economic growth has something to do with it. Warmer, drier climate is driving additional usage. Drought fatigue. The Water Authority has been pounding the drought message for almost 20 years. If you think about it, since the drought began in 2002, if you were a high school senior that graduated last year, you haven't been alive when we haven't been in a drought. So that's a situation that we have to address, but we have to get off of our complacency. So we've started that. We have tremendous community outreach. We've already touched hundreds of thousands of our customers through social media, bill inserts, direct mailings. I feel like the number one thing we have to do is get control of our non-functional turf. And a lot of people have different definitions for what non-functional turf is. Mine's pretty simple. If the only people or person that ever walks on the grass is the person who's mowing it, then that's a luxury our community can no longer afford. We have about 5,000 acres of turf in this community that we view as non-functional. We have 7,000 acres that we have absolutely no problem with, right? I'm not trying to pick fights with soccer moms. Schools, parks, things that our kids and grandkids play on, that's absolutely fine. But this sort of ornamental turf where a child is never going to walk on in the middle of a median or a traffic circle is the kind of thing that we're going to have to address. And it's across our community. This pie chart shows that 5,000 acres of turf, and it's in residential, multifamily, commercial, industrial. It's all over the valley. So we've increased the rebate ceiling on our Water Smart Landscape program from $300,000 per project to $500,000 per project to start incentivizing that turf to come out. And our board has also directed us to increase valley-wide enforcement. And that has a lot of public support. These numbers come from our customer satisfaction surveys that show that 63% of our customers strongly support wastewater enforcement, but only 31% think we're doing a very good job at it. So our community supports enforcing our wastewater codes that are already in effect, again, through city and county codes, but we're going to need to do a better job with enforcement. So we're going to track this at every one of our board meetings going forward in order to keep the community apprised of those enforcement efforts. We're also taking off the cap. I'm sorry, Councilman Anthony.
Okay, so you talk about enforcement. So when I think of enforcement, I'm thinking about putting handcuffs on people, throwing them in jail. So what is enforcement? What's your enforcement when it comes to getting people to use less water or get rid of these? I like your comment about if you're just mowing the grass, it's probably a waste. So what is the enforcement mechanism that you have to do something like that?
Okay, so when we talk about enforcement, that is really the Las Vegas Valley Water District staff will be enforcing within the city of Las Vegas and unincorporated Clark County, City of Henderson staff within their jurisdiction, and North Las Vegas within their jurisdiction right now. And they all have pretty similar rules. So for example, as of March 1st, you're only supposed to be watering 3 days a week, and everybody across the valley has a watering schedule. We can see through our meter data, or we can see when our meter guys are out in the neighborhoods, if you're watering on the wrong day of the week, that's a violation, right? If you have a leak that's running out into the street, that's a violation. So the first thing anybody ever gets is usually a door hanger, if it's physical, or a courtesy notice if we see it through electronic data. And then if those offenses continue to be repeated, then you'll be fined, starting at a very small fine, probably $20, and then going up gradually from there in order to get the behavior corrected.
And what happens if they don't pay the fine?
Well, eventually your account's delinquent.
So that would be part of your water bill?
Right, it goes directly onto your water bill.
On your water bill, okay, okay. All right, thanks.
Okay.
Could I ask along that same line, that means your water would probably be turned off, right? If your bill's delinquent?
Well, we try very, very hard not to turn anybody's water off. I mean, we can lien the property, and this goes for anyone who doesn't pay their water bill, right? Not just anybody.
Right.
It'd be this. I'm sure we have almost identical procedures to the city, providing sewer service. Any municipal service, if you don't pay your bill long enough, with the power company or you
I
guys.
wanted to say, I think you do a really good job in informing people. I got a notice not that I was doing anything wrong, but just saying to me, it appears that your water was on Sunday and it wasn't supposed to be. And I didn't know if, I have a gardener who does that, so I was able to tell the gardener and I didn't get another notice, so I guess maybe he had made a mistake. But it's a nice notice. I mean, it's not, threatening in any way, it's just telling you. And if you have a regular flow, I don't know, for example, if you have a pond with koi in it, if you have water running all the time, it's water running all the time for the koi. They have sent me a notice telling me that it seems I have something that's consistently running. Would that be it?
Yeah,
That type of thing?
really, that would be a leak. Like if you, even a koi pond or a pool only fills intermittently. It only fills enough to make up for the evaporation. If you have a running toilet or if you have a leak in your irrigation system, your meter's spinning 24 hours a day, and we can see that. So we send those courtesy notice, those we call them ticklers in terms of the leak notifications, because a leak in and of itself, we want you to know that. A lot of people, you can have a big leak on your property and have no idea if that's just the water bill you're used to paying.
I just wanted to let you know, I think you do a good job, and I think the way you do it is very friendly.
We're trying very hard to work with the community to achieve these goals, but I do want to point out, by our estimates, if everyone would just follow the existing rules without any new regulations or anything else, if everybody followed the existing rules, our community would save about 37,000 acre-feet of water a year. Now, I know you guys don't think in acre-feet like I do, but the maximum shortage we face under federal law is 30,000 acre-feet a year. So we can save 150% of any shortage the federal government can impose on us simply by following the existing rules in terms of water usage. So we've taken off the ceiling on our water efficient landscapes to be able to apply it to parks. Like I said, we don't have any problem with parks, but we think there's an opportunity with some of the older parks in our community to make them look a little bit like the newer parks, right? Where they still have plenty of playable turf areas, but also have a lot of new amenities. We have millions of dollars in our budget to look at playgrounds and sports courts and different areas to replace some of that turf with more water efficient landscape and amenities in order to help save water. So that's something we'll want to work closely with your staff on. We do want to work across jurisdictional lines on looking at prohibiting the installation of more non-functional turf. Right now, some of the existing development agreements, right now some of the existing codes within the local jurisdictions require a certain amount of, they call it open space, but by the time you slice it up, they're not all parks. They're medians, they're pocket parks, they're not functional areas. And as we're paying, we've paid $230 million to take turf out of our community over here, and over here, our cities and counties are forcing people to install more. And that is a part of what we would like to address so that we stop incentivizing or even requiring the installation of non-functional turf. So this just shows overall our population growth and our water usage. So you can still see we're in a very healthy place. We're not standing up here sounding alarm bells. What we're saying is the uptick we've seen in the last couple of years won't be sustainable for the next 10 or 20 years. We're going to have to reverse that trend line and start bringing our per capita and our aggregate usage back down in order to continue the kind of robust economic development we've been seeing in this valley. So just a couple slides I know have gone on for a while. These are directly from our resource plan, and what this shows is the red line is population growth through 2069. Those are the Center for Business and Economic Research population projections from UNLV combined with our conservation goals to show what our water demands will be by 2069. This shows a 20,000 acre-foot shortage on the river every single year between now and 2069 and shows that we have absolutely no problem. This one shows if we double the rate of population growth and double the amount of shortage that we would take every single year, that we could have to bring new resources on by the mid-2040s. But if we take those same fairly dire circumstances and reduce our water usage by 8 gallons a day more by 2035, we push the need for new resources out into the mid to late 2050s. So conservation, demand management is within our control and really does give us the key to controlling our own future. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any more questions that the council has.
Thank you, Mr. Amsminger. Absolutely great report.
I have a question, Madam Mayor. Or comment, or thank you.
Councilman Greer.
I just want to say, you know, when you see it in presentation form and perspective, really puts it more in line to exactly what is going on and all the work that you guys are doing. And I want to applaud you and your team for continually, you know, keeping the foot on the pedal in terms of our conservation efforts. We know, I don't think many people sometimes realize how important this is. You know, without water, water's life. And if we don't maintain it, then we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. So thank you guys very much. And also, is there something the city could be doing more? Or something things that, I know you guys might have private conversations, Mr. Perigo, but is there something that, you know, initiatives that we are implementing that we could be doing better on, or where we could go? And maybe that's a deeper, longer conversation, but I would love to try to understand that.
Well, I know Tom's going to make a presentation on what you've already done, and by all means, I think the city deserves, you know, an A, you know, on your report card for what you've done in conservation already. Your you know, input into, you know, what the Water Authority has done, the actions you've been willing to take. I don't have a negative thing to say about what the city has done. What I would say about moving forward, what I'm asking every city, every county, I mean, it's one county, but every unit of local government, my request to them is that we take a hard look at our development codes and we take a hard look at previously entered into development agreements that perversely incentivize people to put in grass that's simply going to waste water. So that's number one. And then number two, be able to work with your staff on city facilities, you know, parks and other areas, to see if there are water savings opportunities where we'll invest the money, but hopefully it can result in better facilities for your citizens at the same time saving water for the entire community. So those are my two asks of you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, and I would definitely ask the plea to go to the county with the explosive growth in the Southwest, with all the sports that are coming in and hundreds and hundreds of apartments that are going in there, and knowing the feels we're putting in. The effort really has to go to the county to understand and get the message out to anybody who's new to our community that these are things that you can do to affect conservation.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, please.
So in our ward, in Ward 6, we worked diligently with you guys with our Providence area on getting turf out with the Knickerbocker Park. So with the Southern Nevada Water, we did amazing things together.
Oh, thank you. And I hope I'm being clear. Everybody's been tremendous. Everybody's done a great job. It's just not a time to rest on our laurels. We have more work to do. That's my main point for everyone.
And we're going to do nothing but grow. Population's going to do nothing but grow, and it's up to each new person to take on the responsibility in this area. And so it's to get the word out to them to do your part.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Mayor, could I ask, what you showed us today, you gave us a copy of it, didn't Scott? Did we receive a copy of his presentation yesterday at our CMO briefing?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I handed those out yesterday in briefings.
You did, okay, because I didn't get a chance to read through all of it, and it is very good. And I want you to know, I think what we did in our medians was a brilliant idea. I want you to know that came from Ward 1 and Jerry Walker's tremendously talented people, but it has worked and the people are very happy, and I think it helped conserve some water too.
Thank you. Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. So my time's almost up here at the city, but for 8 years I have really enjoyed serving on the Water Authority as the city's representative, and I'm sure whoever is appointed to take my place will be equally diligent, because I'm an old timer, 1951 arrival. We did not have any Lake Mead water then. I think Henderson, the defense plants, got a little bit of it in a small pipe. But it was like the mid-50s when we started to get water from the lake, if I'm not mistaken. Am I very far off on that?
1971.
So, but we got some in the 50s, it just had to be expanded.
The BMI line came in during World War II, and then the main city lines came in 1971.
The point was, as a child growing up here, I was used to, the population was used to, living off that, what we now call 10%. Oh, I'm not sure that's the well water. I'm not sure we're really using, that number. But I think we were used to the water police. We were used to the people driving around in the little motor scooters, watching to see if your water was running onto the street. And everybody was conscious of that. Everybody pulled together, and everybody had Bermuda grass. Literally, you let it go brown in the winter, and you didn't worry about it. And the city parks did too. We just played on them as they were. It was no harm at all. People got hotels. They got the new grass seed for the hotels called the hotel mix, and then everybody wanted green grass all year long. And so by then the demand grew. So we have now got to stay on top of it. As I like what was said about the pedal to the metal by my colleague Greer. It's no question we've got to stay on it. The thing is we've converted some land at our house, and we're going to do more. And there's nothing like shade trees, really, for this climate anyway. Turf doesn't help you as far as that goes, but shade contributes to a lower power bill, contributes to so much with such a little bit. So I really encourage people to try to pay attention to this and drink Lake Mead like the mayor does. I always ask for Lake Mead with a lemon to soften it just a little bit. But it's perfectly fine, and thanks to our city sanitation efforts, you could darn near drink the water after we process it and put it into the wash. We're only one step away from being able to drink our own water. But the perverse problem is we lose, I heard some oohs and ahs of people, we're only one step away, but we lose credit if we use our own water. It's the darndest thing. So that part of the treaty is perverse because there's no encouragement to go further in the treatment process. We would lose a whole bunch of our water credit. So someday we're going to have to ask for or find a way to renegotiate all that. Am I wrong on that?
Basically, it's a push. If we treat it, put it down the Las Vegas wash, and take it back out, we get a gallon back.
Yeah.
If we treat it, put it into a purple pipe, and the city of Las Vegas uses that to irrigate a park or a golf course, we get a gallon back. So reclaim, doing it all the way to direct potable reuse wouldn't actually be any different than our return flow credit.
Wouldn't it, if it was, I'm talking about consumable water, not about use on grass. I'm talking about where humans can go ahead and drink it. It's perfectly fine. You can almost drink the water we process right now. Anyway, okay. I stand corrected.
Thank you. Mr. Perigo.
Sure, thank you, Your Honor. Just real quickly, I think it's always important to do a quick reminder of all the things that we're doing at the city. So, and it's been in partnership with the Southern Nevada Water Authority and the Water District and all of their experts that have really helped us be very strategic in this. 3.2 million square feet of turf reductions. And like Mr. Ensminger was talking about, we're very aggressive at reducing passive turf that is only there to be mowed and spend money on. That's saved us 60 million gallons annually. Reduction in sport field turf, not sports fields, but converting to artificial turf, saving another 140 million gallons of water annually. And of course, through drought-tolerant landscaping and the median landscapings that Mayor Pro Tem talked about, another 100 million gallons annually through some of these efforts. And then the operational improvements. And you talk to the folks that work for Jerry Walker in operations and maintenance. These people have a PhD in water conservation and maintaining our facilities because we have the most beautiful landscapes, the most beautiful shrubbery and flowers and everything else, and we're constantly saving water. So tip to the folks at operations and maintenance for sure. And you can see then over time the impact. This kind of shows the city's water consumption for city facilities. Now you see this uptick in 17 and 18, and that's because we took the BOMO plant offline, which used to provide water for Freedom Park, and so that increased the amount of water we were getting from the water district. But what this doesn't show is in 19 we're seeing that trend back down because of the conservation efforts and everything else. So we're getting that back on track. Every once in a while there will be a blip as we do some of these improvements. And of course, we are fully implementing. When we develop and build a new facility like Mr. Ensminger was talking about, we're really conscientious about the turf we put in. So we try to put in artificial turf for play fields where we can. We use for some of the buffer areas drought-tolerant landscaping, and limits the turf we do put into just turf that's functional, that's going to be used, that's going to be played on, that's going to provide an opportunity for picnics or whatever. And so we're very careful about how we design those parks. We've also been very involved in all of the regulatory framework that's developed. And again, this is unbelievable leadership from the Water Authority over the years to help all of the organizations, community, as Mr. Ensminger said, come together to implement regulations that have made a huge difference. So through this, we did a quick kind of back-of-the-envelope estimate, but 42.7 million square feet of turf has been avoided because of these regulations just in the city of Las Vegas in residential development. That's 2,000 acre-feet of irrigation use avoided, which again extends our growth profile, and those charts that Mr. Ensminger showed at the end, it pushes off that need for some of those drastic measures into future years. Also, the city has adopted regulations. You know, we all have limits on when we can water. We have limits on using fountains and all this other stuff. Those are regulations that the city's adopted. And so next steps, and this is very important, we are already working with the Water District, Mr. Ensminger. Everything he talked about are things that we're working on, really going after that non-functional common area turf, prohibitions on medians, slopes, neighborhood entryways, and so on. And it's interesting, as we're going through the 2050 master plan effort right now, the feedback that we're starting to get from stakeholders and from the community, we're seeing that drought and water conservation are rising to the top as concerns and on the minds of all of our citizens. So some of the comments we've heard about, we have to keep it at the forefront. It's there. People who live in this community understand how important this is for our future. And so that's sort of just some of the highlights of the things we're doing at the city, the successes we've had. But absolutely echo Mr. Ensminger's comments that now's the time to be vigilant. We have to keep this at the forefront on everybody's mind, and we have to continue taking action to protect our future.
Thank you, Mr. Perigo. Comments, questions?
I would like to ask, on that last slide that you had, or the next to the last one, where you talked about what you're going, no, the next one, it's the next slide. Well, yeah, Freedom Park, Woofter Park. When you say conservation upgrades, can you give me some idea of what you'd be doing at Woofter, since we're just reorganizing that one, renovating it?
Sure. So I can't speak specifically to the actions because I don't know specifically, but those were put forward as examples where in all of these older parks we're looking at updated irrigation systems that are more efficient and reduce leaks. Looking at opportunities to replace, again, those non-functional turf areas which consume a lot of water with things like shrubs and flowers and plants, things that don't use as much water, drought tolerant, but create a lot of beauty in those parks. So those are the kinds of things.
So it might be upgrading the irrigation system, and that at Woofter we need the grass for the dog park areas. You do have grass in your dog park areas, right?
Yes, and I won't get into that. That's a conversation with Mr. Walker, I think, because there are options that it gets a little controversial, but there are certain types of chat that don't use water that dogs love.
It gets very controversial out near Woofter Park, I will tell you that.
I know.
But anyway, I understand, but we are redoing the irrigation system, so maybe that will balance it out. Thank you, I just wanted to get an idea.
They do have alternatives. My family uses the alternatives for their dogs and their pets very successfully.
Yes,
So,
yes. And Mayor Pro Tem, I'll make sure to follow up with Mr. Walker and Mr. Jansen to give you the information on Woofter Park specifically, exactly what we're doing.
Thank you very much. This is a report only and requires no action. And again, thank you so much. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be turning the meeting over to Mayor Pro Tem again, but I'm going to pull forward addendum item 1, and I would like the city clerk to read that into the record, please.
Madam Mayor, can I just have one moment before we move forward to the next
Yes.
item? I just want to recognize some individuals here in the audience. We have a group of students who are here from South Academic Center, and led by their teacher, Miss Janet Hurd, and they're down here just, looking at civic engagement, and I wanted to welcome you guys. Guys, stand up, all the ones from from South Academic Center. Welcome to City Hall. We love having you guys.
Please take a 5-minute break so they can technologically do that.
And we look forward to seeing you guys at a future City Hall meeting. You don't have to come with your teacher to come down to City Hall, by the way. Thank you.
Unfortunately, because of technology, we have to take a 5-minute break here in order to bring this forward. So as soon as we're ready, our clerk will read it into the record, and we'll go from there. And Councilwoman, these are all yours. Okay.
All mine?
All yours, thank you. And this goes to